Hello dears, and welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna. It's time for the latest Benidorm news, updated as every Monday and Friday. So let's get going. First of all, we will talk about the tourism situation, about the huge fine that low-cost airline companies obtained for charging for hand luggage, and two more news. One of them will be about intensified controls of a specific mobility transport in Benidorm town, and the second news will be about prices and how much effort does it take for families, for a family unit, to actually pay for rent. And two of the cities municipal areas are located right here in the area of Alicante, and you know them really well. And we'll finish all of it with the weather forecast. Let's dive into it. First of all, let's talk about the tourism update. As you all know, as you all have seen in the previous videos, it is still very busy here in town. The average occupancy did not drop so much after the fancy dress party. Surprisingly, it's still around 80% and even more in some of the places. A couple of hotels decided to shut down, that is true, or will be shutting down shortly, or at least after all the Christmas and New Year celebrations, after the Three Kings Day, they will be shutting down up until the end of March. Like, for example, the Rock Gardens is closed right now for Magic Costa Blanca. We featured it, by the way, in the previous video. If you did not check it out, check it out. Last video here on the channel is about family suitable hotels for those who are coming with children, grandchildren, or maybe those who know someone who would want to come to Benidorm with kids, but they don't know what to recommend them. Here you will have 9, I think, more or less, almost 10 hotels in the past video with drone footage, with all the information that you need to know about them, so that it will be slightly easier to decide for next season 2025. So Rock Gardens is closed. The Deloitte Hotel, for example, will be closing up after January. Magic Robin Hood probably also will be closing down. Magic Natura is closed down. The Lodge Resort, and a few others. Nevertheless, very busy. A lot of people still in Benidorm town, especially on weekends. The upcoming events, as we've let you know in the previous news update and the previous one, tomorrow we will have the Benidorm half. This is either 23 kilometers or it's going to be 10K, and more than 6,500 participants are registered for this event. Each year it's getting bigger and bigger, so I definitely feel like at some point in the future we'll reach 10,000 participants in it. Maybe I will be one of those. Who knows? Then we have Beni Nadal, which is the Christmas celebrations, the New Year, the Three Kings. And this is something that's happening every single year. And from first days of December, they turn on all the lights. It's like very festive. There's a countdown to it. There's concert. There's Christmas fair, the artificial ice skating rink. First, they tried to do a usual one, normal one, legit one, but then they've seen that it was melting literally, because we have 20 degrees outside. It's almost December, so it doesn't make any sense to have a usual ice skating rink. They've switched to an artificial one, and since then we barely had any issues and people are able to enjoy. There's going to be fairs, there's going to be markets, crafts markets. There's so much going on, concerts, parades, the Three Kings parade too, and the New Year's celebration on the 31st on the Levante beach. There's still no official program for it. Benidorm, on contrary of Alicante, which already has a program, they've established they will be turning on the lights on the 29th of November already in the evening around 6 p.m. But here it's going to be first days of December. So if you will be here even at the end of November, you won't get to this fair, but you will be able to enjoy Christmas spirit and Christmas atmosphere in Alicante town. Really recommended. All these low-cost companies that bring such a big amount of tourists to our region are not happy lately. And all this is due to the fact that they've received a giant fine. There's 5 low-cost companies. There's the Ryanair, obviously, EasyJet, and Vueling. These are like 3 most well-known low-cost companies. Then there's Norwegian and Volotea. I've never heard about this one, actually, last one. and Ryanair, as they go, they've received the biggest sums of money. So Ryanair received almost 100 million euros of fine. Then EasyJet, they received 70 something million. It might not seem a lot, but it's a huge amount of money. And in total, they will need to pay 179 million euros of fines. And all this because of not doing things correctly. These companies have already answered officially that they will be putting another claim on it and they will try to stop the process and for fine to be revoked eventually. They will do it. They've confirmed, but we don't know how it's going to end because this fine comes directly from the Ministry of Consumption here in Spain. And they believe that it's not fair for people to pay for hand luggage if they're not putting it into the special luggage like room below the plane, like on the bottom part. If it's not an extra suitcase, they should not be paying extra for it. And right now you do pay, unless you have a carry-on bag on you, you don't. But if you want something extra as hand luggage, you need to pay extra for it. Also, some companies do charge extra amount of money in case you want to purchase 2 or 3 seating areas nearby, in case you travel with children, with dependent people, extra charge for that as well. There's a lot of extra charges and hidden fees actually for printing your ticket at the airport if you didn't print it before. They do not allow you to pay in cash at the airport a lot of times, especially on the plane either. So a lot of things are happening and the Ministry of Consumption has been checking it on for a while and they've decided now it's enough proof. Now they have all the information they need, all the documents they need, and they've issued this giant fine. Companies don't accept it. We'll see what's going to be happening, but it's definitely true that a lot of these companies, it's just very irritating when you see one price and you feel like, okay, I can allow myself to spend it. Let's purchase the ticket. And then when you go inside, you end up paying 3 times more than it actually stated. That is really frustrating. So I get a lot of people, and I do feel that companies need a touch of attention to them. Let us know what you think about this issue. Is it fair for them to pay such a big fine? The next news that we wanted to share with you all is about intensified controls in Benidorm town for a specific type of transport. This happened already in January this year, 2024. And back then, many people were stopped. Not a lot of them, though, got fines for it. And I'm quite sure you can already see where we are going with this. And yes, Benidorm's local police once again starts controls for scooters, not the ones that people use for helping them to move around, but for electric scooters themselves. Those who are speeding all they can through pedestrian-only zones through the city center, raise your hands in the comment, lift a hand like this in the comment if whenever you were in Benidorm on holidays or surrounding region, doesn't really matter, you were surprised by fast-going electric scooter nearby and you were on a pedestrian area in the old town of Benidorm, in the traditional city center, by the Levante Beach Promenade, wherever you go, if you found this issue. We did numerous times, to be honest with you guys. And I actually think that it's great to educate. First of all, there's going to be 2 phases of the control. One will be purely informative. So they will be just checking if everything's fine. They'll be informing that you cannot go here. You need to go down the roads or down the signaled paths for bicycles and electric scooters. There's going to be brand new signs that will be looking like these ones right here on the screen. And there's going to be limitations and it's going to be put that here you cannot go with mobility scooter. Once this first phase is over, there's going to be a second one, which is already when all the people were informed, when there are signs in place. If people are still doing what they were doing and going where they shouldn't, putting at risk other people, children, pets, elderly people, or in general, everyone else, pedestrians as a whole, then there's going to be fines. We don't know how big the fines will be. Probably will depend if a person will deny it, if a person will become aggressive or not. It just depends on the case, but it might be more than 50 to 60 euros, maybe even 100 or 150. Depends on how bad the situation actually will get. During the first phase, at the beginning of this year, 2024, the vast majority, 70%, maybe even slightly more, of those who were stopped by police were stopped because they were actually driving this electric scooter where it is forbidden to do so, on pedestrian area only. That is the vast majority of errors that people made. And hopefully, with these new rules, with these new signs, and with the police being present, people will learn where they should and shouldn't go, because it's really unpleasant when you're having a lovely walk down the old town and all of a sudden, right next to you, like this, your hair even goes up because it causes wind as close it was to you. The electric scooter just speeds up with a delivery man like Glovo, Just Eat, or any other delivery company, just speeds right next to you. So I do feel like it is a good measure to give people information on where they can and cannot potentially go in town. So definitely yes for these controls. And now let's talk about the last news, which is about how much does it cost, and better to say, what kind of an effort, if it's big effort or if it's quite easy to rent an apartment in specific areas of Spain. Here you have a whole list, and we will go through it right now in detail, of different areas together with pictures of the places, beautiful places, don't get me wrong, in Spain, that it's really, really difficult for people to allow themselves to live there. It's going to be top 10. And to start with, two of the places are located here in Alicante, and you know them really, really well. One of them is Benidorm town, and the other one is Finestrat, including La Cala of Finestrat, which is by the beach area. In Benidorm and Finestrat area, families need to make an effort of around 70% of their joint income of the family unit. 70% goes towards rent only. What about the food? What about the public transport? What about emergency, if you need to go anywhere, dentist, I don't know, something, clothes for your child, anything else, right? There's barely anything left. These areas, our city of Benidorm, where we are right now, and Finistrat, have become extremely expensive. And now the rest of the list. The most expensive, where the effort is up to 90% of the income of the family unit, is in Benavides. This is in Malaga. It's written Benahavis, okay, but it's the H, you do not read it. In Malaga, Santa Eulalia del Rio, it's in Ibiza Island. Marbella and Stepona, which are located in Malaga. This Marbella and this is Stepona in the next picture. In Canarian Islands, there are two as well, Arona and Adeje. Plus, we have Casares in Malaga. And on the other part of this list, the least expensive ones, let's say like this, are Ciudad Real, Baeza, where the effort usually is around 16%, which is a healthy effort. This is how it should be, not 70 or 90%, which is an absolute insanity in our region. Then we have Linares in Cordoba, Puerto Llano, Benicarlo, Jaén, lovely area, Alcoy, which is situated here in the interior of Alicante, and Palencia, and a couple of others. There it's around 16 to 20 something percent. This is a healthy effort for family. But what we pay here is absolutely bizarre. That is due to many factors. That is because there's a lot of touristic apartments out here. That is because there's a lot of, as in other areas, there's a lot of thinking that people might occupy illegally your property, and that is actually true. The thing is, the biggest difference of all of it is that in the interior parts of Spain or in north parts of Spain, they are not as linked to tourism. So obviously you cannot put it as a touristic rental. It's either that you sell it or you close it. There is no more options, which is why there's not a lot of international, like foreigners who purchase here properties or wants to rent them out, which have bigger income. So they don't have a choice really. But here in our area, there's people who have medium to high income. There's a lot of foreigners too from other countries. There's a lot of tourism. So you have kind of options here, which is why there's only few rentals for a whole entire year or years, and these are really, really expensive right now. And now let's talk about the weather. What is happening here in Spain and in particular in our region of Costa Blanca? Today we have quite a lot of clouds in the sky. While we were filming the video, it was sunny, but now it got cloudy and it was supposed to be raining quite close to our region. This is why we have these chunky clouds, but I don't think it's gonna be the case. I think we'll just have some clouds and that's basically it. A mix of sunshine that will maintain itself for about a week's time from now on. So no rain whatsoever, at least it's not expected. The temperatures, especially on midday, are very nice, around 21 degrees even maybe. In Benidorm and surrounding region, in Alicante slightly more. But the following days, Monday and Tuesday, it will rise up until between 23 and 26. This is bizarre. We are almost in December month. We're almost in the first winter month. And it is so warm and nice here outside. Not gonna lie, we kind of enjoy this type of weather. Thank you for accompanying us on today's video. We wish you a lovely, lovely day. Great holidays if you are coming on once. Don't forget to check out our latest videos. Subscribe if you still did not do so. And we'll see you in a new video here on the channel. Bye, dears.